Good morning, and thank you for joining us on After GMS. It is Friday.
We made it.
February 18th. We have. I mean, it's hard to believe next week is the last week of February.
That is crazy.
Isn't it?
It is.
And then we barrel into March, hopefully with warmer temperatures.
Well, let's not talk about that.
Yeah, okay. We do have a lot to talk about in the weather department. So for that expertise, we always turn to our meteorologist and friend, Christian Morgan. What an intro.
Wow.
I know.
A friend, too, not just a weather guy. How about that? It has been a busy overnight time frame and really early this morning, too. But thankfully, everything is calming down. And I unfortunately think there's a lot of folks who didn't get very much sleep last night, just judging by some comments on my Facebook page and messages that I've received. But thankfully, things will be much quieter as we go throughout the day today. Taking a live look over downtown Greensboro right now, and notice the clouds are starting to clear a bit. That will continue as we go into the afternoon. Temperatures still in the 60s, though. 61 in Greensboro, 62 in Burlington right now. And notice those flags are still whipping around. And notice the American flag there kind of got whipped around the flagpole during the overnight hours when those winds were gusting upwards of 40, maybe closer to 50 miles per hour. So things are starting to clear out, but we're still warm. Highest gust so far this morning. It's been a 46 mile per hour gust out at PTI in Greensboro, 37 mile per hour gust in Winston-Salem and Lexington too, 39 mile per hour gust in Asheboro and in Burlington. Those winds are more on the order of 20 to 25 miles per hour right now. And we'll have this wind, not crazy, but we'll have these 20 to 25 mile per hour gusts as we go throughout the majority of your Friday. Of course, sustained winds are out of the south and out of the southwest at about 10 to 15 miles per hour now. But notice back in the foothills and up in the mountains, the wind is not only a little bit lighter, it's also coming from a different direction, out of the west and out of the northwest. And that's a good signal of where that cold front is right now on its approach to the Piedmont. So winds gust around 20 to 30 miles per hour for much of the day. Then they relax tonight, actually going pretty calm, around 5 to 10 miles per hour in the overnight hours. Temperature still in the 60s here, but notice where that front has already made some progress, falling into the 30s already up in the mountains, 50s in the Wilkesboro, still in the 60s here in the Triad. And we've been stuck in the 60s since noon yesterday. So it's been a while with that south wind keeping us warm. Those clouds, it's really hard for things to cool off. But once the front gets by us, we will start to cool off in a big way. We bring more sunshine back into the mix as high pressure builds into the area to take control of our weather through the weekend. And that will keep us high and keep us dry and keep the sunshine around. For your Saturday, though, there will be another little cold front that slides by, but it's a dry cold front, so you won't really notice it. It does keep us a little cooler, though, as we head into your Sunday. So here's the plan all wrapped up in one nice, fancy, and easy to read graphic for you, clearing out with more sun on the way this afternoon. Temperatures are kind of backwards today. Instead of rising, they will fall into the 50s through lunchtime, dropping down into the 40s through dinner. Well on our way to the 20s overnight as we head into your Saturday. But the weekend looks good. Sunny and mid-50s for your Saturday. It's still a bit breezy at times tomorrow. We drop back down into the mid-20s by the time you wake up on Sunday morning. Low 50s and sunshine for your Sunday. But just as quick as we cool it back down, we'll warm it back up into the 60s heading into the middle of next week. With the temperatures going up, though, also comes the rain chance going up as well. We'll get into a pretty unsettled weather pattern for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, maybe on into Friday of the upcoming work week.
All right, so thankfully things are much calmer now, but you can see behind you here, City of Burlington's camera, still flags
and
whipping.
The camera itself is kind of shaking around a little bit, if you notice that.
I mean, it's perched up high, but you know, you can still see that the flags are still waving and it itself is moving as well. So yeah, last night the wind was howling.
It was. And you know, this was a wind that you can kind of see it now. Of course, we had some of those stronger wind gusts, but the highest wind was just above our heads at about 5,000 feet. So it was one of those winds where you could, before you even felt it, you could really, really hear it in the trees and kind of rustling the top of the trees in this higher elevation. So it was one where it made a whole lot more noise, I think, than it did damage.
Oh, okay. Well, I like noise over damage any day.
Too.
So with those wind gusts hitting 40 to 50 miles per hour, Guilford County Schools was one of the TRIAD school districts that made a decision to delay by 2 hours. WFMY News 2's Denise McMiller's in Greensboro, kind of talking you through the conditions early this morning.
Well, typically around this time, we'd see Guilford County school buses pulling out of this bus yard by now, but Guilford County Schools wanted to be cautious and has decided to delay the start of school by 2 hours today. It was the strong winds and heavy rain that we experienced overnight and early this morning that was a big concern for them. We know that strong winds can lead to downed trees and power lines. They didn't want their bus drivers having to deal with those types of conditions on the roadways. Thankfully, we didn't run into any issues today, but it can be difficult for districts to predict the impact that these weather conditions can have on their operations. Here's the process that Guilford County Schools goes through. They reach out to the National Weather Service. They work with them to track the forecast. They also work with the Guilford County Emergency Management Department as well. And they meet with these agencies multiple times as they get a better prediction of what the weather conditions could look like. Now, Guilford County Schools says that they made this decision to delay school by 2 hours for the safety of both students and staff.
All right, so we saw the wind blowing in Itanisa's live shots throughout the Good Morning show. And so we're going to talk about the wind right now. All of you already kind of giving us an opinion here, or your experience about the wind last night. Was it loud enough to wake you up, or did you sleep right through it? Let us know in the comments. We did hear from a viewer in Graham who said, I have a door under my house space needing repair. I heard a loud noise around 8 p.m. Went outside to check. My door was open, plus trash had blown halfway across my yard. Rhonda said, slept like a baby. Sandy lives in Stoneville. She says, it was a very light, breezy night, just enough to say, what was that? Another viewer says, it was howling out before I went to bed, but I slept right through it. Elizabeth said, my dogs felt the need to go out at 1 a.m. After one particular gust, they made the trip outside a quick one.
I bet they did.
Yep, they acted fast on that.
It really started to rain too after about 1 a.m. too, so they got in just in time to stay dry.
It's funny that her dogs had her out at 1 a.m. That's the time I woke up this morning.
That's when I got up.
Yeah, and I just was like, oh, what's that? And then I checked everybody's room and everybody else was sleeping. And I was like,
All right.
It's time to catch up on this show I'm streaming on Netflix. And then hence I was late to work this morning. But anyway, I didn't oversleep.
Oh, that's why you were next.
But I didn't oversleep. So how about you? Did you sleep through the night? Did it wake you up?
So I slept pretty good, but I mentioned this earlier, especially being a meteorologist, anytime that you've forecasted and prepared people for an event, whether that be just a wind event, whether that's a severe storm event, whether it's a winter weather event or snow, you're always, I think, if you're passionate about weather and you're in this, I think you're always a little bit on edge. Because one, you want to make sure what you've been telling people all week really comes to fruition and what you've been preparing them for really happens. Second, it's just kind of I want to see what happens. And you know that in the back of your mind. And also knowing that I had to get up a little earlier this morning and come in. Tim and I traded off overnight. But knowing that, I think always kind of keeps you, even if you sleep, you're not really in a deep sleep. You're always, so I didn't really have a problem getting up, and I don't ever sleep real well when we have an event like this that we're preparing for either. But when I went to bed, the wind wasn't crazy. It was still pretty early for most people, but the wind wasn't crazy, and it wasn't really raining yet, but I could still hear the wind kind of blowing things around on my window. And then when I got up at 1, it was raining, and it was just like coming in sideways. And, there were some folks that actually reached out to me this morning that said, did we have hail last night?
It sounded like it.
And no, it was just raining so hard, and the wind was blowing those raindrops sideways into your window or into your house. So it did sound like something might have been pelting the window or pelting maybe your windshield if you had to be out driving in it.
Right. So yesterday afternoon, I knew it was going to be pretty bad because I was on my jog and I was like blowing over left and right, and it made it. I think I must have been running into the wind. Yeah. Because my legs would not move. Like I was like, it was just like the slowest jog ever. It took a lot longer than it normally does. So I'm going to blame the wind.
Blame the wind.
It didn't work for me. It worked against me.
My dad said he went to the driving range yesterday. I said, which way did the ball go? He said, I felt like it was coming back at me. I said, you were facing south.
Exactly. Yeah. So was I. Next time I'll go the opposite direction.
Go with the wind.
Correct. I would have been faster. Regardless, so then I came inside and, getting things ready for my son's little birthday gathering that we had last night. And I was like, okay, well, let's put in the trash cans. Let's take everything off the deck. I did everything everything that you guys told me to do. And I feel like when I prepare that way, nothing bad happens. You know what I mean? It's that sense of like relief, like, okay, I did everything that I could possibly do. I have all my weather radios on, my cell phones have been charged, you know, I'm good to go. And so I went to bed feeling comfortable, but then at like 1 a.m., I don't know what was going on. I just heard, and I was like, I'm up, and then everybody else was still sleeping. And I was like, well, that's a shame.
Okay.
And that's kind of my tale here.
I had a lot of people say they were just kind of up and down
throughout the night.
Tried to sleep, maybe slept for a little while, 30 minutes, and then woke back up and then up again.
Oh, Jason Hutchins is back on our feed. We've missed him the last few months.
Where has he been?
I don't know. Maybe he will tell us in his chat. So he loves to make jokes, and he said, Tracy was running against the wind, or was she breaking through the wind? I guarantee you, I was running against it. I wish. Let's see. Jessica said, my husband is a military veteran, so with any weather, he does not sleep. I'm the opposite. I was out, I sleep better. Let's see. Pamela said, once I fell asleep, I was out for the night. And we had Scott who said, Christian, looks like the wind got to your hair.
Ha, ha, ha.
Bobby Odom said he slept good. Jay Lynn said, I slept through it, woke up to no power. Some roads are closed due to either fallen tree or a power line. Let us know what town you live in so we can check it out too and get that updated on our website.
Yeah, you know, it's one of the more difficult things about a storm or a system coming through at night is that it's dark. And so if something falls, you might not know it until the sun starts to come up right now.
That's true.
So we haven't really had any damage reports. You know, a couple messages say, hey, this tree fell over my yard. But haven't really had anything in the way of damage reports yet. And that possibly could be because we really did luck out, or that could be possibly because the sun's just now coming up and people are assessing that. So that's something we'll be watching as we go through the morning. Yeah,
we did get an alert from Rockingham District, Rockingham County School District, who said that Bethany Elementary, which is in the Reedsville area, Bethany area of Reedsville, they are going to be optional or remote today, something like that. Anyway, because they have power outages in that community. Yeah. So maybe you live there and that's what's happening, but if that's the case, I think the district is on a 2-hour delay anyway, but that particular school is going to be.
I'll pass this along too. Just before the show started this morning at 4:30, there were close to 2,000 people without power in Forsyth County. And at last look, just a little while ago, I'm sure that this has changed now or improved hopefully, there were still about 1,000 people or just over that without power in Forsyth County. And when I looked at the power outage map, it seemed like that's where most of the outages were. You know, there were a few isolated incidents in Guilford County and around, but I didn't see really too many widespread power issues. So if you're in Forsyth County, if you lost power, it seems like they're getting that restored pretty quickly.
That's awesome. Again, I'd rather it sound really bad than it actually amount to that in damages. A lot of people slept through it though. I'm just like amazed. But I guess it just depends on where you live and how good of a sleeper you are. I'm a horrible sleeper, as you can see with my eyes and my drooping smile. May Carpenter said, good morning, I slept through it. Justin Flint said, I was asleep from 10 p.m. until now. Forgot we had a threat for high wind. So lucky. Debbie said it blew a shutter off of her house.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And Michelle said that she slept well, and that was good too. Lakaya said, I was up until my body said night night, LOL, and she was out like a light.
Yeah, you know, talking about blowing the shutter off your house, if you didn't tie down your garbage cans or your trash cans last night, there's a good chance they're at the neighbor's house this morning.
Right, or a mile down the road.
Or a mile down the road too, with all your trash in it.
Right, and they actually are expensive to replace if like you have like a.
And they can really, I say that in a way to sort of be funny, but they can really cause damage, especially if they blow into a car or blow into the side of a house. So always tie that stuff down. That's why we always say, again, better to be prepared than have to clean it up later.
What you really wanted to say was never put your name on your trash can.
Don't put your name on your trash can.
If it causes damage, you don't want it to be tracked back to you.
Oh, that came from the Morgans.
We'll go ahead and call them. All right, so thanks so much for taking part in our chat here. We do have a few morning headlines that we want to let you know about. Well, mask mandates, have you heard about this? They are coming to an end in the TRIAD. Last night, Guilford County Commissioners voted to end the countywide mandate effective immediately. Winston-Salem Mayor Alan Joynes also announced the city's mandate will end March 1st. It's important to note private businesses can require you to wear a mask inside their establishment, store, or restaurant, but it's no longer required by local governments. Next week, Guilford County Schools will discuss ending its mask mandate. The board is recommending moving to mask optional on March 7th, and they'll vote on that recommendation next Thursday. Today, the North Carolina A&T State University Board of Trustees will discuss moving from the Big South Conference to the Colonial Athletic Association. The Aggies were part of the MEAC for 50 years before moving to the Big South last July. Right now, it's only an idea, but we'll let you know what happens at today's meeting. We are also expecting a big announcement about a historic event coming to Truist Field at Wake Forest University. Officials with Wake Forest, AEG Presents, and the Greensboro Coliseum will be on hand for this announcement, and they say the event coming to Truist Field will be one of the largest events in the stadium's 54-year history. That announcement is set for 9 this morning. You can watch it on WFNYnews2.com or on our YouTube channel. So what do you think it could be?
I don't know. I'm trying to rack my brain here to think.
A concert of some sort?
That's what I'm thinking. I'm leaning music, but that may just be me and my music bias.
It could be. Have you ever watched that show where they do like all these like tasks and they like try to swing over things, and American Warrior, I think is what it's called.
No, I never watched that, but I think I would
amazing.
enjoy that.
The other day I was just like, it would be so great if we could get like that to come to like a big field. And then, I mean, maybe it's out of the blue, right? You know what I think would be fun? It would be kind of cool.
And maybe, I don't know, maybe this isn't big enough. Maybe I'm not thinking big scale enough. But I would love to see like Blue Man Group come to the Piedmont. I don't know if that could be something
they can
at the Tanger.
perform outside. It'd have to be like an outside thing. But that would
maybe
be
I'm not thinking on, I don't know. I may, when they announce this, I may be totally wrong.
Yeah.
In any way, shape, or form.
Exactly. It's probably like Disney on Ice. I have no idea. If you guys have a guess, you can drop it in the feed. But I'm just curious. And of course, we'll know at 9 a.m. That's only an hour from now.
I'm excited to find out.
Yeah. It's just short-lived curiosity.
It's only got to be patient for an hour.
Exactly. We can withstand that. All right. Can the wind withstand? Oh, look at transitions. See this? Ooh. Okay. Smooth. How about this? Can we withstand the wind for the rest of the day?
I hope we can. It won't be crazy, gusting around 25 to 30 miles per hour this afternoon. And that's not outside of just a normal windy day for us. But I know it seems like a lot when we're coming off the heels of 40 mile per hour gusts overnight. But we do bring more sunshine back into the picture this afternoon. Temperatures in the 60s now, but we'll be in the 50s by the time we get to the afternoon. So temperatures kind of go backwards today. We'll fall as that cold front passes through the Piedmont today. More sun and temperature's pretty cool, at least what we've been used to the last few days as we head into the weekend. Sunny mid-50s for your Saturday, still with a bit of a breeze from time to time on Saturday, then a little cooler with sunshine and low 50s for Sunday. We will warm up some next week just as quick as we cool down, but as the temperatures go up, so do the rain chances. We're heading to a much more unsettled weather pattern Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and likely on into Friday and next week.
Yeah, don't be like me and get fooled by the warm temperatures.
Always look at the whole bar there, Tracy.
Right, because I'm always like, oh, 66, what am I going to wear? I can't wait. And I don't look at the whole picture. So I've learned my lesson with this week.
We put the icons and we put those little precipitation chances on there.
Gotta look at that too.
Gotta look at that.
And pay attention to it.
Gotta pay attention.
All right, so this week has been a fun one. Lots of dancing, some interesting moments that we have to play back in this 1-minute clip. It's what we call the best of GMS. Have a great weekend.
See ya.
It is Wednesday.
Oh no.
It is Wednesday. I know, already falling apart.
Okay.
February 16th. Okay, what day is it, Marissa? Pump Day.
I used to do that, and then people looked at me weird, and now I stopped doing it. And then Marissa does it, and everybody's
fine. And it's funny.
Right. Well,
Has nothing to do with you, I guess.
Well, first of all, I don't want to ever meet you guys on the highway.
Right? Get out of
Any
our way.
of you, get out of my way. But it's just irritating to have somebody to ride your bumper.
Tracy?
Well, listen, I am that person who irritates people. So I'm like always like have my hand behind trying to like calm a kid down or pick something up, or you know, I'm eating on the go. So I'm just gonna let you guys have this one.
You're the person that I'm just kidding.
I am. I'm sorry. But you know, someone has to annoy you. I don't have a, like, what is it called? FOMO?
Yeah.
Fear of missing out? Okay. I'm trying to get hip.
Okay.
It's been a long time coming. I don't have that.
Tracy learns hip phrases 101.
Okay, it's a vibe coming up after this break. We'll be right back.
We've got to go.